What is going on, everybody? This is Jackson from JD Sports Zone, and today I have another special Banana Ball interview with Savannah Bananas draftee Frank Moscatiello. Frank, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. How's your day going? And happy holidays.
Day is great, I'm super excited to be here, and day's been going well. I work at Lululemon. I work there during the off season, and now I'm here ready to talk about my experience.
I
And happy
mean,
holidays to you as well.
Happy holidays to you, man. I'm super excited to have you on. I love getting these guys on for Banana Ball, especially for, Banana Ball draftees heading into their rookie season with the Savannah Bananas. But before I get to, the whole Banana Ball talk, you spent 6 or 7 years in the independent leagues. Yeah, 6, 7. With the independent leagues, I mean, you played in the Frontier League. I grew up going to Frontier League games all the time. I want to ask you, did you ever think, you get to the entertainment side of baseball after playing in pro ball for so long?
So that's a great question. I honestly no. I didn't think that this would ever happen, coming from someone who's super competitive, my whole dream was to be a big leaguer, be on the big stage, like someone steps in the box, it's me versus you. It's the food on my table versus the food on your table. At the end of the day, that's kind of like my little thing. I learned that from a guy that I played winter ball with. He said at the end of the day, it's we're doing this so that we could put food on our table, and that's our job, so it's the guy in the box's food on his table versus your food on the table, so being super competitive, I didn't think that this would ever happen, but then I didn't really know much about the Savannah Bananas. So when they started their come up, or when, I finally, found out who they were, I was like, this seems awesome. I couldn't think of something that I'd rather do, because every time you watch something with them, everybody's having a good time. Umpires having a good time, people on the field are having a good time, fans, kids, they're all having a good time. And at the end of the day, we've all been that little kid going to the big league game or the independent league game and looking at the players on the field like they're superheroes, and now we get to not only be that superhero, but we also get to interact with the fans. Like I think it's so cool that I'm going to be a bullpen arm, and probably the first half of the game, I'm going to be in the stands, hanging out with the fans. And I think that I think that's super cool. Because I've always been a guy to interact with fans, talk to kids. In 2023, when I played in Quebec, I was Community Player of the Year, because I did all the kids camps, and, I did all the appearances around the city. And, I've always been a guy that wanted to help out the community, and just give back to the people that are rooting you on in the stands.
I mean, that's absolutely phenomenal to hear, especially bringing such a community involved guy like yourself into Banana Ball and, the whole aspect of fans first entertainment. Because I forgot which interview it was, but a Banana Ball player told me that, you have the opportunity to interact with these fans in the stands before the game. And it's a luxury that, professional baseball does not really give you. And, finding out that, throughout the first half of the game. You're a bullpen arm. You're going to be in the stands throughout the first half of the game, which is very interesting to hear. I actually did not know that at all. So it's always great to hear a new perspective from Banana Ball. Now, I actually want to ask you this because obviously Savannah Banana were the ones who like truly started it when it came to the entertainment baseball landscape. I guess I want to ask you. Obviously, a lot of things go into Banana Ball. The trick plays, the dance moves. I mean,
Hmm.
everything that ties into it. What trick play or dance move are you looking forward to
Ooh.
use in 2026?
Um, that's a great question. Another great question. I've always been super competitive, super just, basic, just strike a guy out, get back to the dugout. But now it's going to be all right. Now I got to strike a guy out, bust a move, do something entertaining. Um, a mission of mine is to learn how to do a backflip. I think that would be super cool, do a backflip, strike a guy out, do a backflip, and I think that would be a lot of fun, very entertaining. Trick play, I don't know. I haven't really focused too much on the trick plays. I have a couple ideas, maybe like a behind the back, maybe a through the legs. I've seen a couple guys on social media working on the handstand pitch, you know. And I could do a handstand. I'm pretty good at doing handstands, so that could be something that I try out eventually. Um, but there's the opportunity and it's endless. There's so many things that we could do, and I honestly I can't wait to get down to Savannah so that I could learn from the guys down there. Because they have so many trick plays, and I just think it's going to be so much fun, and I can't say enough how excited I am to go down there.
I mean, I definitely look forward to see what you guys do in 2026, and especially for you, Frank. I mean, all the trick plays and, something that you have to get down personally. I'm not very athletic. There's a reason why I'm interviewing you right now and me not on the field out there. I can't do handstands. I can't do backflips, but I can talk. I mean, that's it. But honestly, I look forward to, the development of the trick plays for all these new rookie guys. And, you specifically, do you have a go-to dance move that, you want to use in 26 off the top of your head right now?
um, maybe a little moonwalk, maybe a little shimmy, maybe a little shuffle. I when I was in college, we liked to listen to house music, and
Hmm.
the whole shuffle dance move was really big when so we all learned how to shuffle, and maybe I'll do something like that, and throw a pitch, maybe do a cartwheel, throw a pitch. I saw a video of somebody doing that yesterday, and I was like, oh, that's exactly how I imagined it would look. So I'm going to try to do a cartwheel and throw a pitch, maybe just come up with some dance moves, maybe a moonwalk, like I said, a little shimmy.
I
So,
mean, I definitely look forward to it in 2026. Whatever gets developed alongside
hmm
the dance moves for the Savannah Bananas World Tour, and what goes along with dance moves, music. And obviously, you're a bullpen guy. And obviously, every bullpen pitcher has a walkout song that they walk out to the mound to. If you could choose your own song in 2026, a specific artist or a specific song you want to use in 2026 for the Savannah Bananas, what would it be and why?
so an idea that I came up with is somehow, I want to let the fans choose my walkout.
Mm,
I want to do a survey or a poll on my socials, and I'm gonna ask, hey, what should my walkout be? And then I'm gonna choose like the three or the five best ones that I would like, and then I want everybody to vote on those. Because in the past I haven't really had a walkout.
mm.
The couple of teams that I played for, we didn't have walkout songs. So I never got to choose one. But something that I would like to use. I did it one time when I was a closer in collegiate summer ball. I used the Godfather theme song,
Mm.
the theme song to the Godfather the movie. Um, and I'm a New York Italian. Um, we love the Godfather movie. Um, my great grandmother was in the movie. She was an extra.
That's crazy.
So I think that would be pretty cool. Um, so I guess we'll see if I use that or if what the fans come up with.
I mean, I would love to see that in 2026. So you say you're a New York guy, Mets or Yankees?
I'm a Yankees fan,
Yankees
and
fan?
I'm
Okay.
super excited to play at Yankee Stadium. That's always been a dream of mine. I grew up a Yankees fan. I was a so big of a Yankees fan that my grandfather, when I was little, he painted a Cooperstown mural on my bedroom wall. and it was like this fake like Cooperstown, but it had a jersey of Babe Ruth, it had Frank Moscatiello, and then it had Mickey Mantle. And it was just painted jerseys on my wall. And it was a Yankee themed bedroom. And, now I get to play in front of 60,000 fans and my friends and family at Yankee Stadium this year. And a sold out crowd. And, it's almost like it's a dream come true. Everyone has dreams to, be a big leaguer and to play at these stadiums. And, I'm just super excited to play at the stadiums. And, it's a dream come true. That's got to be one of the stadiums that I'm the most excited about. Being from New York, growing up a Yankees fan, all that stuff. And yeah, Yankee Stadium is going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, I'm glad it's a full circle moment for you, especially growing up as a New York Yankees fan, getting the opportunity to play at Yankee Stadium in 2026. I mean, from the mural to the field. I mean, I feel like that would be a title of a movie. I mean, I look forward to it. Honestly, that was my next question. Outside of I guess outside of Yankee Stadium, I mean, you're gonna have a full summer, early spring, heading into fall season with the Savannah Bananas. Outside of Yankee Stadium, is there any other stadium that you look forward to playing to in 26?
Yes, so there's so many incredible places that we're going to play, from Tennessee's football field that we just found out on Instagram is sold out with 101,000 fans. That's going to be unbelievable. The New Orleans Superdome, Colorado Rockies Stadium, Anaheim, all these great places. But the thing that I'm super excited about, and me and a buddy that got drafted by the Clowns, his name is David Griffin, and
Hmm.
we spoke a good amount, and we both agreed that it's super cool to play at these big league parks, especially in front of these ginormous crowds. But I think, and he actually said it, and then I agreed with it, that playing at these non-baseball stadiums, I think that's even more cool because in our head, there's a lot of people that could say, "Oh, I pitched at Yankee Stadium. Oh, I hit a home run in Colorado." It's like, yeah, well, did you hit a home run at Gillette Stadium? Did you pitch at the New Orleans Saints with Caesar's Playbook, Caesar's Palace, something like that? But nobody could say that, you know, other than banana ball players. Nobody pitches at Gillette Stadium because it's a football field. Nobody's pitched at Tennessee's football stadium because it's a football stadium. And I think that that's super cool.
I mean, it's awesome you get to play not just in obviously major league parks that every baseball player dreams of playing in. I mean, I couldn't imagine playing in Colorado. I mean, just the atmosphere and the wind there. But I mean, Neyland Stadium, I mean, Gillette Stadium. I mean, it's absolutely a dream come true, especially, for you to watch, well, for fans to watch this, but also for players to play in these stadiums. And that actually leads to my next question. So obviously, the Savannah Bananas and Banana Ball have brought through top tier celebrities throughout the past years. I mean, Backstreet Boys, John Cena, and MLB legends like Adam Wainwright from the St. Louis Cardinals. I want to ask you if there's an MLB legend or a celebrity guest you could bring along for a collaboration video, play, game. Who would you bring and why? One MLB legend and one non-sport person.
So the MLB legend that I would choose would probably be Derek Jeter. Derek
Mhm.
Jeter has, from the second I picked up a baseball to, now, Derek Jeter has always been an idol of mine, because he was always play by the books, he played the game the right way. You never heard about him getting in trouble off the field, anything like that. He's always been a great role model, and he that would be my big league celebrity. Outside of baseball, ooh, I'm not sure. That's a great question. Let's go with, I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that one. Who would I want to see? Hmm. I know last year MGK went. That was pretty cool. 50 Cent went down to the game. That was pretty cool. You know, man, that's a tougher question than I thought. I don't know. I'm gonna have to think about that one and then get back to you.
I mean, there's a lot of New York guys that you could possibly bring in for
Yeah.
Yankee Stadium. I mean, you have Adam Sandler. I mean, Adam
Uh-huh.
Sandler, Kevin James that you could throw in there. Some comedians. I mean,
Maybe
I feel
Sebastian
like
Maniscalco. I think he's hilarious. Whenever I listen to him, I just picture my dad growing up, and it's almost like we just relate to them. That one's funny.
I mean, yeah, I look forward to whatever guests that Jesse Cole and the Banana Ball people can bring in to these stadiums for the away games. I look forward to that in 2026. Absolutely for sure. Now, I want to ask you this. I never got the opportunity to ask a pitcher this. I've asked all the batters I've had on for Banana Ball. Obviously, there's no custom bats available in Banana Ball as of right now, and people have told me from palm trees to coconuts to bassoons. Fisher Polydorov told me that his was going to be a bassoon. I want to ask you if you can create a glove, since you're a pitcher, out of any sort of material that's not really baseball related. What would you create a glove out of and why?
Does it have to be usable? Like, do I have to be able to use it, or is it just like a cool glove?
Usable. Let's go with usable.
Okay. So, because the first thought that I had was to create like a cannoli glove,
Mm,
something like that. Italian from New York, maybe a glove uh made out of pizza. Um, yeah, I'd probably choose pizza. I feel like you could make a usable glove out of pizza. Maybe yeah. Yeah, let's go with a slice of pizza.
I mean, I think it'd be pretty messy, but honestly, great option.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it. I've been to New York once. I'm located in the Georgia area. I mean, I go to college here in Georgia. Been to New York once. Had Ray's Pizza on Times Square. Um,
Okay.
$18 for a slice of pizza is kind of
You got to
outrageous,
go to
but
the dollar slice places on the corner.
oh,
There's places that you go in, you get a slice for $1, and those are the best
hmm.
ones.
Have any recommendations for people in the New York area or people who are visiting there for the first time around this time of year?
So I don't spend much time in the city, but I do have a couple places around the island. I'm from Long Island.
Mm-hmm.
Branch and Ellie's is a great spot. Um, Branch and Ellie's is great. Little Vincent's, that
Mm-hmm.
pizza is unbelievable, unreal. You want a good slice, you go to Little Vincent's. Where else? Um, yeah, those are the two that I think of. Branch and Ellie's because I go there all the time. There's one right next to my house, and Little Vincent's. Little Vincent's I always hit when I come back from when I fly in. Because
Have
it's
you?
pretty close to the airport, and I just got to stop there.
I mean, I love cannolis. I love pizza. Have you had Chicago style pizza?
I have. So I played Indy Ball for a long time,
Hmm.
and I was out in the Chicago area. I like New York style pizza better. I
Hmm.
think Chicago style pizza is more of a sandwich to me.
Mm,
But
yeah.
it's not saying it's bad, but it's just not pizza to me. It's too deep dish. You want a slice, you get a New York slice.
Yeah.
But if you need a meal, you can get a Chicago style because that's going to fill you up.
No, I completely understand the perspective on there. I grew up going to Joliet Slammers games, and
Yep, played against them.
being around from that area before I moved down here a few years ago, Chicago style pizza was always. I was more of the Italian beef fan than pizza for Chicago.
Hmm.
It's very soupy. It's very soupy. So I mean, honestly, I'd take New York style. Don't tell Anybody if from
I
Chicago, I
won't
think
tell the
New York.
slammers.
Yeah. Ah, don't tell the slammers. I mean, the New York style pizza is absolutely phenomenal. Now, I want to ask you two more questions, Frank, before I wrap up this interview. Honestly, for the Savannah Bananas in 2026, I mean, you have a lot of teammates around you who have been part of Banana Ball for so long. I mean, Ryan Cox, D.R. Meadows. Noah Niznik, I had him on a couple months ago.
Hmm.
I want to ask you, what teammate are you looking forward to, collaborating with from the Savannah Bananas that has been on the team for a good bit now?
Yeah, so I think that one of the coolest things about Banana Ball is the style and the ability to add like your own little flair into the game, with the trick plays. And, who better to, think about with the trick plays than Ryan Cox?
Hmm.
He's, it's the glove magician, like, so I think that's going to be super cool. Uh, he's going to be a super cool dude to hang out with, especially captain, shortstop. Him, Bill Leroy. I think that's going to be cool. A little pitcher catcher, combo. So that's going to be a lot of fun, especially watching some of the videos of him in different catcher stances. When he's laying down catching the ball, when he's doing a lazy boy catching the ball. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And, the guys in the outfield that are doing the backflips, catching the ball, and, being a guy that, I doom scroll a lot, all over social media. I see a lot of Rack, a lot of Jackson Olson. Those guys are, they were the guys that they started from the bottom and they built up their image, and they're doing great. So I'm super excited to meet those guys. KJ, I'm super excited to meet. um Ty, I'm super excited to meet. All these guys. There's, if I forgot some of the guys, my bad. But uh I just think everybody's going to be super cool to meet. I think the group of guys that we have, from the little bits that I have spoken to them and met them, I couldn't be more excited. I think that it's a great group of guys, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I mean, I look forward to all the collaboration, dances, trick plays, behind the scenes stuff that everything to do with the Savannah Bananas in 2026. I applied to be a Banana Ball intern in the summer of 26, so hopefully maybe reconnect with all you guys down there
Yeah,
if I
best
get
of
the
luck. I hope you
opportunity.
get it.
No, I appreciate it. I truly, hope, I'm walking in.
We'll
I'm walking
cross our
in.
fingers.
Yeah, I'm crossing my fingers. I interviewed Max Young Goldberg a couple days ago,
Okay.
who's coming on the Bananas as well. Super excited to see what all of you guys
Mm-hmm.
do for the 26th season. Now, Frank, I have one final question for you. I ask this to every Banana Ball interviewee I have on, from entertainers to players. Banana Ball's motto is fans first entertainment. What does the term fans first personally mean for you?
I love that. I love the fans first. So fans first entertainment to me, and they spoke about this at the tryout and every time that we speak about fans first. And Jesse Colt said that having a good season in Banana Ball isn't having a 0 ERA. It's not batting 400. Having a good season in Banana Ball is how many people could you influence? How many kids can you connect with? How much fun can you create for the fans at the games? So fans first to me, it means, in my head, how many little Timmies and Tommies can I have go to the stadium, go to the game, look at me, point to me, and say, "That's my favorite player." That's my thing. How many kids can I make realistically fall in love with Frankie Moscatiello, the pitcher on the Savannah Bananas?
I mean, that's an absolute awesome mentality to have. I mean, not focusing on the scouting report or have to really worry about, the stat sheet. At the end of the day, it's, what can you influence? How can you influence? How can you impact, the fans across the stadium, and just to make somebody's day, wanting them to come back and tell their friends and
Absolutely.
family to come back in 2026. But Frank, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this. I truly appreciate it. This will be up within like the next 20 minutes. I edit pretty fast. So, but honestly, I hope you have an amazing day. I look forward to seeing what you do and the impact you have on everybody in 2026 with the Savannah Bananas. And I hope you have an amazing holidays.
Well, I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun and I'm looking forward to 2026 and happy holidays to you too. And let's do this again sometime.